One Chicago organization is on a mission to help people with disabilities build confidence, independence, and self-esteem through scuba diving.
Dive Heart instills the can-do spirit in aspiring divers, inspiring them to take on challenges that they may not have considered before, because if you can scuba dive, you can do anything. Jim Elliott and Tina Marie Hernandez join us with more. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, so we've heard all about this fundraising effort to make the deepest warm water for therapy pool in the world, and you're trying to do it in North Chicago. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I was in Houston at the Johnson Space Center and saw the Neutral Buoyancy Lab, and that's where the astronauts work with, divers to learn how to do neutral buoyancy. So I thought, I want one of those in Chicago. So we started talking to Heinz VA. We were going to build a 40-foot pool. The proposal went all the way to Washington, but it was going to be above grade, like an aquarium, which was going to make it really cool, so you could watch your loved ones do therapy. Well, then doctors from Hopkins went with one of our teams that we had trained and said, Jim, if you go to 66 feet, there's extra output of serotonin in the human body, which helps with pain management. And during the pilot study, during that week they were doing the study, it alleviated 80% of the PTSD symptoms. Wow. So I'm like, wow, if we can help with chronic pain and PTSD and stuff like that, let's go to 130, because that's the maximum depth for recreational scuba diving.
Yeah.
Right. So this was before any of the deep pools were built in Europe, except for Brussels. Okay. Now the deepest pool is 150 feet. That's in Dubai, or 200 feet. Okay. But the problem is, it's designed just like the other pools. There's a couple ledges and a water tower sleeve that goes down like 150 feet. Well, if you can put 20 people in there, you can't put 20 here and 20 here and 20 here, because if there's an emergency, boom, they have to go right through the other people. So we have 3 patents. It took us 6 years to get the patents on the design for our pool, and our lawyers just told us we got one in Canada as well. And basically what it does is it allows to have a 10-foot ledge at every atmosphere. So 99, 66, 33, and then the first 20 feet is above grade, which is glass. At capacity, we could put almost 300 people in this pool at one time.
Wow, incredible. I mean, we've heard of scuba diving, obviously, but sort of the scuba dive therapy is just so incredible. It's something I don't think a lot of people know about. It must have something to do with sort of the zero gravity, right? The freedom that comes with that.
I think it's the freedom. I think we all come from water, if you think about it, right? A water place. And any diver and a lot of swimmers will tell you it's very zen under the water. You have a calmness, a reconnection to yourself, a reconnection to a lot of things. So just breathing underwater really is something that helps a lot of people. And so these are all the extra added benefits that we see. We see people change their perspective on how they think about themselves. Like you said, if I can dive, I can do so many other things. What else can I do? What have people invited me to do? And they open themselves up to other opportunities, and it's wonderful to see.
And Tina Marie, you have a personal connection to this as well because of your cousin Joey, and you're kind of spearheading and trying to push this through in memory and honor of him.
Absolutely. He was a very special person, and he always had that, I'm going to go out and get it and go and do something. And I just, when I met Jim and when I learned about Dive Heart, I thought of him immediately and thought if he had been around to know this, or for me to be able to introduce him to this, he would have done it and it would have made a difference. And so everything I do is in honor of him, for sure.
And I mean, there's a lot of technology behind this too, because you're having adaptive divers, adaptive buddies. Kind of talk about sort of what all goes into this when you dive.
Well, we train instructors and buddies all over the world, and what we do is it's team diving. So if you were a quadriplegic, for example, you would have 3 buddies with you, and what they would do is, if you had no arms and no legs, they would control your ascents and your descents, equalizing. If your mask got water in it, they would clear the mask. If you couldn't wear a regular scuba outfit, you'd get one of these masks with communications, perhaps. We just took a quadriplegic gentleman on a shark dive in the Bahamas.
Wow.
And the boat had a mic in the water, and everybody had a mask, and the young man who was diving, who was a quadriplegic, could talk to his wife on the boat, and she was crying. She was so blown away by it.
What was he saying? What kind of feeling is it? Is it just a freedom, a sense of release?
It's it's freedom. I tell people there's a lot of great therapies out there, but we have the franchise on zero gravity, and it's just amazing how powerful it is. The thrill for me is to get somebody out of a chair, and in 30 minutes I could have them standing up, and they're looking down, standing in the deep part of the water, and they go, oh my God, I'm standing up for the first time since my injury, or maybe the first time in my life if I was born with a disability. When you add to that they're breathing underwater, which is not natural, right? So wait, I'm breathing underwater, and I'm standing up. I'm not in my wheelchair. It's just like, boom, a paradigm shift.
My
It's
goodness.
amazing.
I mean, it sounds like it's just an out-of-body experience. It really jolts you
It is.
into another.
When I did it in college, I'm 20 feet below the surface, 20 feet above the bottom, and I'm hovering going, oh my God, it's like being an astronaut. This is amazing.
It really does give you that feeling of flight, what I would imagine, flight to be when you're underwater, and it helps not just the people we dive with disabilities, but everyone. We say it's for all abilities, really, essentially, because I've met people that I've been everywhere, I've done everything. I know, I've done all the diving stuff I need to do, and they start working with the people that we are like that we're bringing this to, and it opens them up all over again. Now, let me show you this. Let me show you that. Oh, guess what? We can try and do this thing. Or it gives them that challenge of, how am I going to get this person to not list this way because they use a prosthetic? Or how am I going to get them so that they can do that shot that they really want to get because they want to learn how to do underwater photography? So it opens so many worlds up for all sorts of people.
And you guys are doing the work right now at community pools, at schools, hotels. But the goal, obviously, is to get the fundraising to have this facility in North Chicago.
And it's really a race, because we have 3 patents on the design in the U.S. and a patent in Canada. But when we were at a trade show recently, a young lady from Spain called, and she was with the university. She was an architectural student. She said, I'm looking at the U.S. patent website right now at the specs for your pool. Tell us how you use it practically. And when I hung up, I went, oh my God. I mean, people in other countries could see this. Dubai could see this and stick a shovel in the ground and build this tomorrow. So in my mind, if we want to do this in Illinois, in the U.S., we're in a race to get this done. I mean, they don't need to raise funds. We have everything else. We're like the Ghostbusters. We have the tools and the talent, because we have the architects and the engineers, and we have, we're 23 years old as a nonprofit, and we've been chasing this dream for like a dozen years. So all we need now is the funding. So, any of your viewers that could talk to we're looking to get national media, but also influencers and anybody who dives who's a celebrity who could throw a little bit of weight against this. There's 756 billionaires in the U.S. 250 million millionaires.
You just need a few of those people.
If I get 20 bucks from every millionaire.
Millionaires, billionaires, if you're watching, and regular folks who just want to donate some of your hard-earned money to a good cause. This is one of them. Jim, Tina Marie, we can hear the passion in your voice. I mean, it's fantastic. Thank you for everything that you're doing. For more information, just head to diveheart.org or find them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And yes, they do need some dough. We'll be right back.